Damn it. Went out to go eat. And all this news started dropping. Wow. Off-season frenzy has started, ladies and gentlemen. I don't know how you feel, but all I'm saying right now is that tomorrow might get a little crazy, and I thought it was actually going to be a little quiet this year, to be completely honest with you. How y'all feeling after you've seen all this news, man? There's too much news to go through, and I wanted to just jump on live real quick, talk through it, give you my thoughts on everything that's going on, and obviously dip out of here in a reasonable amount of time so I can take my ass to sleep. But what's up, everybody? I'm Dante. If you have not seen me before, thank you for coming through and spending some time with me tonight. First things first, gotta get this go ahead and get this going real quick. Let me turn this down just a slight bit. Real quick, I had a couple people ask me about if I wanted to do like to show you guys how to scout players and things like that, and go through the process of like what a coach goes through, how you see the game, how you can scout players a little better. So I kind of took what everybody was suggesting, and I think I'm gonna do a seminar. So down in the description below, there is a form that you can fill out. Give me some of your times that you're available, some of the days that you're available, if you're interested in learning more on how to, from somebody that went through the NFL scouting process, to giving back from a coach's perspective, how to build playbooks. Maybe we might get into that. Breaking down some film, how to focus on players, ask your questions in a more professional setting that's not a stream. It'll be all private. We'll do it through like Google Meets or something like that. And you can take this and evaluate players a little bit more. Hit the link in the description, sign up. It'll be totally free. This is more for you guys to obviously give back and make you guys better at watching film and some of these players throughout the season. But that's neither here nor there. Just wanted to throw that out there real quick. Alpha and Omega forever. This is some BS. I can't believe we gave up a 3rd round pick for him. Shaking my head. Who are you talking about? But first things first, shout out to everybody in the chat. 𝗕𝘂𝘀𝗶H what's happening? All right, let's go ahead and get into it, man. Real quick, don't want to take up everybody's time, but we got to talk about Josh Allen first. Ridiculous. Absolutely extraordinary contract. Record-setting, 6-year, $330 million, includes $250 guaranteed. The largest guarantee ever given to an NFL player, sources tell ESPN. What's crazy is that Josh Allen had 4 years left on his deal as well, according to the report. I'm not the contract dude, so take what I say with a grain of salt when it comes to contracts and stuff. But what I can tell you is that this is an extraordinary amount of money that is obviously going to set him and his family up. And I was telling my wife when we were at dinner, I was like, he's one of those quarterbacks that is absolutely insane in today's standards, right? And him and Haley Steinfeld are about to be one of the highest paid couples in in football. So this is absolutely crazy. I can't say that it's not well deserved for the trajectory that he was on. We've seen the lowest of the lows with him in the first year, and then kind of had a bumpy road, and then Stephon Diggs got there and they started to go off, and he just so happened just can never ever show up in the playoffs to beat the Chiefs, and the season he's great, right? But what I can tell you is that it's never really his fault on why the Bills lose to the Chiefs. So I think in the grand scheme of things, losses and wins do come down to a player like a player like him, obviously, because he's the quarterback, right? Even though how unfair that may look to the masses, it's just the reality of things, right? And here, of course, we like to look at the whole glass of the whole glass of the drink and give you the perspective on that. It doesn't just come down to one player. There's a lot of factors that they end up happening in wins and losses, right? So let's put it like this. You win the MVP, even though I don't think he should have, but the facts are that he won the MVP, and time and time again, he is the reason why his team is put in a position to win games, and the Bills see that as a valuable asset, and he is an incredible quarterback. And whenever you're discussing the top 5 every year, it's hard not to put him there. And so you compensate a all-time quarterback as well. Let me get over to the comments, man. Y'all are going crazy right now. For Geno, yeah, we'll go to, we could talk about that here in a little bit, but I don't think he was worth a third either. That's just my opinion. He's 34 years old, and you give up a 3rd round pick. That's a lot of, and then this draft, that's too much value to give away, in my opinion. All that money is crazy. You lock up a guy, so Also, can't believe Myles Garrett took more money to stay in Cleveland. I have my opinion on that, and my opinion is you gave like this whole grandiose excuse of that you didn't like the fact that the fans booed Deshaun and all this other stuff and made it, about that you wanted to go to a winning team, but then you take the money. So that really kind of throws his, I want to go to a winning culture out the window. Myles Garrett has been kind of fickle in the things that he said in his career thus far. You can look at the kind of like the Mason Rudolph situation. Who really knows if whatever happened was actually true? Cam, what's up, man? How you feeling? 250 million, mind blown. Absolutely. Dana said Cardinals need to get it right because the Rams made some nice moves. Seahawks taking the rebuild pill, and who knows what the Niners will be. The Niners are in total reset mode, it seems like, right? My man, Mom Money, I ain't seen you in a while, bro. How you feeling, man? Hope everything's good. Hard for Myles to turn down that money. Picked up money over a ring. Well, the thing with Myles Garrett is he's an all-time player, and I've been saying that, to give the comparison between him and TJ Watt has been absolutely unfair over the years, right? Because TJ Watt's a outside linebacker. So of course you're going to drop him back in coverage and things like that. You're not going to do that with Myles Garrett because he's a true defensive end. So when you look at the two, it's hard to compare the two. One is more dominant in his position, and the other one is doing domination in his position as an outside linebacker, right? So it's really unfair to compare the two players regardless. So I just, I think Myles Garrett is the best defensive end in football, and I think TJ Watt might be the best outside linebacker in football. But does this mean that the money made him feel better as far as generational wealth and setting his family up, and that nobody knows what happens in those 4 walls, guys? Like, he could be told, like, we're going to pay you, and we promise that we're going to try to get this team in a championship caliber form. Since he's been there, how many times have we talked about, like, obviously in free agency and things like that, they picked up a lot of weapons. They've drafted really well, and they just can't get over that hump. And then bringing Deshaun Watson, it seemed like you have all these great players on the team. You guys just can't put it together. It's so talented. And so maybe that, the Browns have just been in purgatory. Like, what if they just would have kept Baker Mayfield? Like, really and truly, I take a step back almost every single day, and I think about, like, why are the Browns in the position that they're in? And if Baker Mayfield could have stayed with the Browns, where would they have been right now? Could they have gotten themselves over the hump? He was the one that bring them back into playoff prominence, and then they ship him away, and then kind of reskin the whole thing again. I don't understand. Because I think with some of the weapons that they had there, you can't tell me that Baker Mayfield couldn't have done better. He went down there to the Buccaneers after Tom Brady left, and was the best team in the NFC South. He can't even execute a QB sneak. Yeah. But I mean, it's not his forte, right? But Josh Allen is a play extender. So, I mean, let's give him a little bit of credit. My man Dolph's in the chat. He said, ECG, how you doing, fam? Good. Dolph, we just talked. And what I was telling people is I've decided kind of what we were talking about. If you hit the link in the description, sign up for the seminar. I think I'm gonna just put it together, man, and get everybody. Once everybody gives me a day, then that's what we can do. Like maybe a couple times a month, just meet. Go ahead and put fill out the Google form in the description, and then it'll put you on there. Just let me know your availability and stuff like that, and we'll get something set up. Some players sell themselves short for money and no championships. Man, let me tell you, you're absolutely correct about that, man. Absolutely correct. And I mean, the conversation that gets brought up about that too is like, how does everybody feel about some players saying that they rather have MVPs and stuff over championships? I mean, I don't know. Honestly, I look at it a couple different ways. I look at it as if you're getting into MVP caliber stuff, I think that you've helped yourself win. Before I get into that, I want to elaborate on that some more. But god damn, 𝗕𝘂𝘀𝗶𝗲𝘀𝗀, 20 gifted subs, bro. Is this what we're doing? Is this what we're doing now, bro? I appreciate you so much, man. Long time sub, long time member. 𝗕𝘂𝘀𝘀𝗀𝘀's the man. He comes in here and drops a bombshell every once in a while. Appreciate you gifting all those subs. If you did receive a gifted sub from 𝗕𝘂𝘀𝘀𝘀𝘀, tell him thank you in the chat, man. He's absolutely one of the best people, one of the best supporters that we've had on this channel, and I appreciate you coming through and showing support like you do, brother. We better draft a quarterback at 6. I mean, Alpha, who do you want? I mean, you're a Raiders fan, right? So who do you want at 6? We did a mock draft earlier where we kind of went against the grain and picked somebody that we think it could change your defense completely outside of Max Crosby. What has been the biggest surprise? I think today the biggest surprise was actually Davante Adams going to the Rams. I know a lot of people say DK, but I think Davante Adams going to the Rams is interesting, and we'll get to that too, Evil, for sure. We're going to elaborate that some more. But I actually called that. My wife was like, you called that. For some reason, I thought that DK would be perfect with the Steelers, and it did happen. So, but I really don't foresee George Pickens being there like everybody's predicting too. So, bro, crazy day, man. Space Beast, you just don't know, bro. And I asked the guys, I was like, y'all want to stream again? They were burnt out from earlier, but hey, this is the stuff that keeps my blood pumping right here, man, for sure. Season AFC Championship game appearance, now $330 million contract, not bad consolation prize for failing to reach the Super Bowl. So let's get back to the MVP conversation. How like people think when people think about this, right? And as a player, when they get asked, would you rather have an MVP or a championship? And a lot of people say, I strive to get an MVP. And I guess that's true in this aspect, right? When you win an award as a player at your position, whether it be anything in college, like the John Mackey Award for the best tight end, or the Jim Thorpe Award for the best DB, or the MVP for the best player, or the offensive player of the year, defensive player of the year. These are accolades that are given to the best people at those positional groups, right? And think about it like this. If I'm striving to get that award and personal accolades, what that tells me, and I'm just telling you on the flip side, it doesn't necessarily mean that that is a thing that is a selfish type of aspect to the player. But if a player is striving to be that in a personal accolade, that means that he's going out there and he's giving his best of all of his ability for the team to get those accolades built up. And what does that do? That takes the percentage chance of that one player being the best that he can be to help his team get in position to win, right? Like, let's think about it like that. Josh Allen winning the MVP. What does that mean? He was the best player in the league, which means he was the number one player that gave his team the best shot to win. So when players say that, I don't necessarily think that that's a bad thing. I actually look at that as a positive. Like, you want to strive for personal accolades, that means that you're giving your team the best chance to win per what you can do in your positional group, right? So when people lead in sacks, when people lead in interceptions, when people lead in tackles, they've given their best at that statistical category, which then makes their percentage for your team to be successful even greater than somebody that's not at that level, right? So I think we need to start thinking about it, obviously like that as well. I don't, the MVP conversation and things like that is great. And I think that's like, when you start thinking about it, that's the other side of what people don't like to consider. They think it's just, personal accolades help your team win, right? Does anybody else agree with me there? Like, I did all I could do. It was up to my team, not that they decided that they didn't want to match or try to get to that level in their play, or just doing the best that they can, because a lot of players have a cap. So, obviously they're playing the best that they can at their position. It's just some players are more talented than others. I like to hear what your guys' thoughts are. Alpha says Saquon did it the right way. Did his thing on the field, won a championship, and got paid. Yeah, and I was telling my wife about that too. It's either he was going to prove that he was really better than what the Giants had, or he was just going to be as good as what we see, just a really talented running back that, always helped his team out. So I don't think he was going to be any worse being with the Eagles, and we definitely saw that. Yeah, no problem, 2Evil. You deserve a compliment, man. Tim said, thanks for the gifted membership. Yeah, 2Evil's the man. Alpha and Omega. Yeah, Will Howard or Dylan Gabriel. I like those two. I told everybody that Will Howard, if he entered the transfer portal and went to Ohio State, that would be the best fit for him, that they could possibly win a national championship. Go back. That was a prediction before the season, and I was spot on. They did exactly that, and hit the nail on the head with that one, right? Both the Stafford restructure and Davante Adams deals seem to have an out after this year if they want it. And if they don't, it's a year 2 window. That's interesting, man. That is interesting. You don't see the link? Hold up. No, it's in the description, but let me put the give me 1 second, Dolph. Let me put the see if I can go here. Sorry, guys. Copy. Scouting. Seminar. Sign up. There you go. I'll pin it at the top of the chat. There you go, Dolph. What do you see for the Jaguars tomorrow? I see us being aggressive for like a DJ Reed or something at cornerback. Obviously, we need that with Tyson Campbell to add some structure there. Maybe we might be a little bit more aggressive in the offensive line, because they were saying that a lot for us as well too. And I don't see us getting any wide receivers. Maybe being aggressive and trying to get like a Michael Mayer from the Raiders. I guess that's a possibility if they decide to release him. But I don't see us making too much noise unless it's a trade before the draft, or we're just going to just draft really, really heavy. If anything, I think it's going to be a very low-key day for the Jaguars for sure. Yeah. So I think that's what would happen with Jacksonville. Pickens to Jacksonville in the trade. I could see that being a possibility too, but I really think there is an ability for us trusting Parker Washington, which I'm happy about, and Brian Thomas Jr. panning out the way they did. Even I was wrong about Brian Thomas Jr. and he way exceeded my expectations. I think we go in the draft and get Tedderone McMillan, man. I really feel like that's going to be the case. It's either going to be him or Will Johnson. I don't see us doing anything else. And Burn, I don't know how you feel about this, man, but we drafted 3 defensive tackles last year and we're still unsatisfied with what happened, you know? So, but that was our stupid regime last time. Of course, Adams would run back to the West Coast. It was going to be the 49ers, Rams, or the Chargers. I mean, he's from the West Coast. He's from California. Wonder where Hutchinson is going to go after being allowed to seek a trade elsewhere. Wait, what? Where, do you have a link to that? Because I never heard that happening, bro. If they let Aiden Hutchinson walk from the Lions, that is organizational malpractice, in my opinion. Actually, a good deal for Josh. 10 years, $55 million average. I take that in the FO. Yeah, bro. Basically the Mahomes deal. And I want to see how this structures in their salary cap too. It seems like it's going to help out a little bit, extend some players that they maybe want to bring in. I think that maybe they trust Keon White enough and might bring in a George Pickens might be perfect because he's played in cold weather too, and that's a big factor. Is like getting some guy that's close in that. First time being here, good to see you, Titans fan. Just wondering if you got any idea who we're going to be drafting. Tennessee Tactical One, appreciate you coming through. I think the Titans, this is what we did earlier today in the mock draft. We had them picking up Travis Hunter, and here's why. You can go in and get an Abdul Carter, but you got to worry about the injury. You could go get in Shamar Stewart and maybe overreach for a guy, but I think he's great value, and I think he's going to be really, really good. But a lot of people will be like, that's too high. I think Travis Hunter is the best pick for you because it's basically drafting 2 positions in one. And like I told my guys, I don't feel like that he's going to play both ways because I don't think the NFLPA would allow it, and neither would a good coach would allow him to do that. I see him maybe coming in on some offensive packages, but I really seeing him being like a cornerback. So I think in all reality that Travis Hunter is your best pick, even though I'm not the highest on Travis Hunter. But it's hard to pass up a what if and what he couldn't be and what he can be at each one of those positions. And it's just too great a value, right? I think that's where you are in Tennessee. And I think you guys will be ecstatic down there to get the Heisman winner and the guy that we haven't seen what he did in, doing what he did in college was crazy. Tomorrow probably going to be crazy during free agency frenzy. Don't be surprised what happens in the draft. There's always the unthinkable that happens. Yeah, for sure. And my guys will be live tomorrow while I'm working to go over the free agency for a couple hours. So we'll see. Everybody talking about all the draft picks we could get if we trade down, but I kind of would like to see Cam Ward here. I think that there's a lot of value for quarterbacks that are going to be better than Cam Ward and Shedeur later on in the draft. Tennessee Tactical, to be honest. But for the hype of what you guys want, I honestly see like an Aaron Rodgers or a Sam Darnold being traded to you guys, and you guys being okay with going to go draft your guy in the future and passing up on a guy that has. I mean, to be honest, bro, I'm in a lot of scout chats. Cam Ward and Shedeur is really making people nervous. And I know why. I mean, I see it on film. The guys have some deficiencies, and being the 2 quarterbacks that are better out of a group of what people consider mediocre quarterbacks is still not great. It's overvaluing what they are. Cam Ward was supposed to be a 7th round pick to undrafted last year in a lot of projections. Shedeur would have been a day 3 guy most likely last year compared to the guys that came out, and it's just the stock is different. But Tyler Shuck and Curtis Rourke to me are the 2 best quarterbacks in this draft, bar none. It's not even close. and then Dillon Gabriel, and then like a Jalen Milroe. So we'll see. Did you mean Hendrick? Yeah, if you're talking about Trey Hendrickson, then that's different. If you're not going to pay Hendrickson and you already franchise tag T. Higgins, you already know what time it was, right? Tells you where their priorities are for the Bengals organization is just terrible. I mean, I don't know what to tell people. Like, you got a guy that's, I think this year and a couple years ago when he was with the Saints, he led the league in sacks. Like, is that not valuable enough for somebody, for their team? When it's hard to come by an edge rusher, and Sam Hubbard retired. Maybe he saw the writing on the wall immediately and was like, I'm done. I gave everything I could. So to not only have a guy retire on his own terms, but to let him walk is just organizational malpractice, man, for sure. Space. I think you're talking about Carter here and all the injuries. Yeah, we got through that. I agree with Hunter being the cornerback, and then in some limited packages. Yeah, I think it would be very creative to see that. And it might work out, but you know, it might work and it might not. Just is what it is. Torque, what up, man? Tennessee, how many times have they talked about a guy there and it was someone else asking as a Raider? First, I think DK trade may be inflated at the draft cost for Hendrickson now, and it's not sure what happens. Maybe. Hope we bring back 50 Deuce, aka Khalil Mack, to pair with Max Crosby. That would be dope to kind of end his career out, right? Yeah, that's why we're here. Real tape breakdowns. Wait to use this info on your fantasy football teams. I don't know that anyone is willing to give up to with the edge depth in this draft. Bob, what up, man? Just signed up. Okay, cool, man. Yeah, if you guys want to, hit the link at the top. Sign you up for a seminar that we'll do. We'll discuss dates and get everybody in the room and start getting real crazy with these least talked about late round picks. Going to shock the league watch, and we know all about them. We are actually discussing doing like a 3 to 4 round mock that will take us about 6 to 8 hours. I'm not even joking, you guys, because we get so in depth. But like, as college guys that watch every damn Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Saturday, we know a lot of these guys. Trey has the most sacks in the NFL the last 2 seasons, 34. Just let him walk. And you just let him, like, yeah, bro, that's nasty work. But shout out to Josh Allen, man. I can't say that it's not well deserved. He's been a beast. And again, when you're talking about top 5 guys, he's one of the best in the league. Time after time after time after time. You can hate if you want to, but just is what it is. Tennessee Tactical, appreciate you subbing, man. Thank you so much for that. You didn't have to do that, and you did, and we appreciate it. Welcome in, and I hope you enjoy your time over here, man. Joey Bosa available right now too. He's not getting talked about. Big shakeout for the league in this cycle. It's just a fact if he's healthy. I'm a big Joey Bosa fan, man. People want to act like that he's not that guy, and if he's healthy, he's still a beast. I would love to see him paired up with his brother Nick out in San Francisco, and they might do something like that. All right, let's get into what I think is the biggest shakeup of today's news. Davante Adams signing a 2-year deal. A 2-year deal to be a Los Angeles Ram. Not only is he back home, but one of the things that I do like about this is Matthew Stafford gets a guy that had some injury issues when he was with Green Bay, and it's kind of just been healthier throughout his time, and played for the Raiders. Had his best year with the Raiders a couple years ago. Went to the Jets. It didn't work out pairing him up with Aaron Rodgers, but he gets a familiar quarterback with kind of the similar skill set with Matthew Stafford. And I think Matthew Stafford is about to absolutely cook. I had him as my number 2 quarterback last year. This is Matthew Stafford I'm talking about. And people are like, are you crazy? Look, Puka Nacua doesn't have the season that he has without Matthew Stafford. Cooper Kupp doesn't have the season that he has without Matthew Stafford. Calvin Johnson wasn't a Triple Crown winner without Matthew Stafford. So you have that, yeah, Calvin Johnson and Cooper Kupp, who had triple crowns from Matthew Stafford. And now the one thing that Davante Adams can add to his resume is coming in, being a safety blanket to help Matthew Stafford get to the next level. You don't have to teach him a lot, right? But think how valuable it is for Puka Nacua to have somebody like him. Not only did you learn under Cooper Kupp, but you get to learn from Davante Adams. Garrett Wilson's already come out and said how valuable that was for him as a Jet, right? And now you bring him in on a 2-year deal, and it's just like, I don't want to say the Rams are tied up to win another Super Bowl. I still think that they have a lot of things that they need to get, but their defense is continuously better and better and better and better every single year. And now you bring in Davante Adams, and it brings a lot of veteran presence in that room that obviously you were lacking from a health standpoint, right? Cooper Kupp wasn't the healthiest all the time, and Puka Nacua was there to carry the torch. And I don't think Jordan Whittington is there yet, right? I think he could get very, very close. Now, this is a guy that obviously, hold on one second, guys. All right, sorry about that. We're talking about Jordan Whittington at Texas, right? And there's continuously was receivers that came and trumped him. You bring Adonai Mitchell in there his last year, and it's like Jordan Whittington a couple years ago was supposed to be the #1 guy there. Let's keep that in mind. I think at Davante Adams and Matthew Stafford are about to cook together, because one thing that Davante Adams doesn't have to worry about is getting his targets. If he's open, Matthew Stafford's going to throw it. And he's going to throw it through a tight window, and he's going to make it count every single time. Matthew's arm is not done, guys. No matter how much his wife wants him to retire, he's not going to. As long as that arm is still as healthy as it is. Still, he's up there top 3 arm talent right now, still. Now, I'd be hard-pressed to see a lot of people at the end of the year not have him in their top 10s. I mean, I think we're definitely going to have him in our top 10 at the end of the year. To be completely honest with you, you know what I'm saying? So we'll see how it goes. I think those that get invited to the NFL Combine who don't want to perform there should forfeit the opportunity to someone else. Oh, we talked about that, man. Hey, Alpha, we talked about that a lot a couple weeks ago. I'm there with you. Crazy good pickup for the Rams and Stafford. Hell yeah. Von Miller needs to go back to Denver. I agree with that. I think Adams has a lot in the tank. He does. And I wanted to actually do a film breakdown of Davante Adams and with the Jets, like his last couple weeks there, because I think Aaron Rodgers, it's funny because I think Aaron Rodgers is on the back end of his career. And I also think that he is still got a little bit more in the tank. And I think that Achilles is still bothering him. And you could tell by like his throwing motion and things like that back foot was coming up a lot. And it was like, how much is that still lingering? How much are you really actually hurt? Because a lot of players are not going to tell you that, how uncomfortable he was with those throws. But I just think Garrett Wilson was the focus, and you didn't want to trump that with Davante Adams, right? And so Davante Adams brings a lot of he's going to be a little bit of a familiar type of guy for Matthew Stafford for sure, I think. Who should our backup quarterback be, Rodgers, Kirk, or Jimmy G? Who should our backup quarterback be, Rodgers, Kirk, or Jimmy G? I think you guys should sign Sam Darnold, man. I don't know why he's not there at least one more year. I don't think JJ is going to be ready. I don't know, it's going to get effed up in LA. Watch versus the teams in that division. I don't think so. Jerry Rice was 40 and Tim Brown was 38 in the Super Bowl, though. That was before nutritionists. Adams probably had 4 solid years. DoorDash. Yeah. Aaron Rodgers will be start somewhere or retire. He isn't backing up anyone up. Yeah, I believe so. Yeah, I don't see the mentality of Aaron Rodgers ever backing anybody up. Raiders probably were giving up a second for Matty Stafford. And I mean, that's good enough, right? It's an age. Guys in their 34, 35, 36 years old should not be. These guys should not be or first round picks. Unless you're very desperate and you think that they're going to win you a Super Bowl, you can look back and say that first round pick was worth it, right? But I don't think GMs are willing to play that game. Stafford was the exception to that when he got traded for Jared Goff. But shoot, and you go back, one of the first videos on this channel is me predicting that Matt Stafford would win the Super Bowl that year, and he did. Stafford still plays through injuries at his age, still hungry with the fire in his belly. Davante with a chip on his shoulder. Rams coming up for that ass this year. I think so. Do the Rams even have a solid running back one? Yeah, Kyron Williams, huh? And they got Blake Corum to back him up. The running back room is tough, man. Kyron Williams has been a 1,000-yard rusher for 2 seasons now. A touchdown machine. Waiting for Stafford's arm to fall off can't come soon enough. Yeah, because you got to play him twice a year. Watch out for Chris Olave to get moved. Rumor is he wants out of Nola. Woo! There's 2 wide receivers. I don't have a lot of wide receivers jerseys, but I have his jersey and Drake London. If you let that man walk, organizational malpractice. I'm telling you right now. That is crazy if that happens, bro. Chris, those guys in Ohio State were insane. I think Jackson Smith and Jig was about to go off this year. Chris Olave is going to have a good year this year. When Emeka Egbuka gets in the league, he's going to go off. Jeremiah Smith's got a couple years before he comes out. Ooh. Puka and Adams with the mad scientist Josh McVay and a young, nasty, improving defense. Rams with a few more moves and they're going to be a problem. Yeah. Yeah, man. I think they're going to be absolutely incredible altogether. And I don't even think their defense is a couple. I'll say this about their defense. They might be a couple pieces away, or they might be a couple, like, now this is the season where they put it all together. Because think about it, there's a lot of first round or first year guys that were on that team last year. Their second year together. I mean, Braden Fitz, Jared Verse, and Cam Kitchens, like, this could be their second year together. Things might get a little crazy. And that front seven already looked nasty. I think they're like one bona fide linebacker away. Losing Bobby Wagner for them was... Here's what I'll say about the Rams, right? Why people don't value linebackers so much is insane to me. Because when I think about Zach Bond and he single-handedly turned their team around, and Nakobe Dean being healthy and being the tackling machine himself. But the value of having a Zach Bond that does not miss tackles is the reason why the Eagles lost their last Super Bowl they were in, because they couldn't tackle. Like, Hassan Reddick couldn't tackle. CJ Gardner-Johnson couldn't tackle. But you have a bona fide linebacker. That's all that they do. This is why I'm so high on Jay Higgins from Iowa, and he's so far down draft boards for whatever reason. But I think there's a team that's going to go out there and choose him like in the second or third round, and people are going to be like, who the hell is Jay Higgins? It's because he's a tackling savant. You can reach for the 𝗎𝗪 Campbell if you want to. I'll watch the film. The guy is not a first round pick. And if somebody, he's going to be the mistake of this draft. And I'm going to just sit there and laugh my ass off. I hope he proves me wrong. But 𝗎𝗪 Campbell is not him. I've told people, if you can find me a good 𝗎𝗪 Campbell all 22 sequence of him consistently doing things, I'll be a believer. But I'm not. Yeah, the Chris Olave thing's not happening. Yeah, I feel you. Thanks for the live tonight. Last night was boring. That sucks, man. Yeah, I didn't think I was gonna go live, but I had to get it off my chest, a lot of the stuff. Then again, we do have Mickey Mouse Loomis as GM, and anything negative that hurts the team is possible as long as he's in charge. I'll tell you what, Dolph. If this Jaguars experience, and if we haven't already learned what the Rams had did by bringing in just young coaches and young GMs and things like that, I think if the Jaguars turn their team around, which is my team, of course, then it would be a mistake for other teams not to follow the same formula, right? It would be insane. Wonder where Darius Slay going to go next. I think he should go back to the Lions. We need to resign Spillane and Morig. I think if you don't sign Spillane, that would be insane, bro. Trayvon Morig, I could see you guys moving on from him because this safety class is going to be so deep that you can get one. I think you guys are one Malachi Moore away from not having to worry about him, or my guy. My guy is still there, man. Trey is still there. You guys drafted Trey and don't even use him. I know he's battling some injuries, but yeah, I gotta link back up with Trey and get him back on and talk to him again, man. It's been since the beginning of the season where I spoke to him, but yeah, Spillane is a big necessity, I believe. Like I said, linebackers are just a dime a dozen nowadays. I think they are the missing piece to a lot of teams' puzzle. And if you're not taking a page out of what Philadelphia did, that's crazy. All right, let's get over to DK Metcalf, man. A lot of people think that this was a huge move. I predicted this was going to happen, hit the nail right on the head. But signing him to 5 years, $150 million with Pittsburgh. What are we doing? What are we doing, Steelers? Yeah, I absolutely don't know why they decided to spend that much money on DK. And by all regards, I think DK is a little bit of a diva. I was a believer in DK Metcalf in the draft. I know he broke his neck and everything, but this is the type of money that you spend on the AJ Brown, who is his counterpart at Ole Miss. I don't think DK is AJ Brown. You know what I'm saying? For a second round pick, I think was very good for the Seahawks for sure. And I think they have a conditional like pick swap at the 6th and 7th round or something like that. It's good value. Get somebody that's unhappy off your books and get the closest thing that you can to a first round pick for him, which that's originally what they wanted. I don't know why people thought that was actually going to happen. But this to me is excellent. They get what they want. And it always seemed like the Steelers just, let's think about it over the years, man. Mike Wallace to Antonio Brown to, George Pickens to Deontay Johnson. Like, they just haven't had the slew of consistency and talent for their team that just want to just shut up and ball. And I'm a big fan of George Pickens. Like, I love the dude's attitude, but like, good God, how inconsistent can you be, brother? I love his blocking ability, but now I don't think bringing two big body guys in is what's going to change the trajectory of this team, because I think you're one draft pick away from being really, really good on that offense. And I think like what we did earlier and what we continue to draft at the Steelers, and I don't think that's going to happen anymore, is like, now you left a Luther Burden on the table. Now you left a Emeka Egbuka on the table that could have changed that offense completely and given your team a safety blanket. George Pickens got drop issues, but can make amazing catches every once in a while. DK Metcalf, inconsistent as shit. And I don't think that that's the right formula for your team. Is like, especially with a Justin Fields, you give him no short game receivers. I love Roman Wilson, but he's a deep threat guy. You bring like an 𝗕𝗂𝘂𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀 or Luther Burden in there, you give your short game. As an offense coordinator, I'm not sure what Arthur Smith was thinking, because obviously he wanted him to. Like, don't think, guys, that these guys are in the meeting rooms and saying, hey, we want to trade for DK Metcalf. What y'all think? Arthur Smith was like, yeah, go ahead and get him. If you're going to keep Justin Fields, you're going to continue to have this stupid narrative that the guy sucks because you have no short game now. And Pat Freiermuth, regardless of how good that guy is, and Darnell Washington, I like Darnell Washington, but like, you have Tyler Warren and Harold Fannin Jr. and Colston Loveland and a lot of those, Gunnar Helm, who's probably my favorite out of all the tight ends. Like, you have these type of guys that are in this draft that are going to be able to find soft spots in the zone and get you that short game. But does DK do that? No. We've all seen the writing on the wall, right? Alpha says Christian Wilkins' contract could possibly get restructured. We paid for him to get injured. And some things happen, man. Like, hopefully he's not injury prone and it was just a freak accident, but I wouldn't say that you pay for somebody to get injured. It just sucks. Now, if he has a history of getting injured, then you can look back and say, dang, that was terrible. Who would identify as a sleeper free agent tight end, which is not a sleeper free agency tight end, which is not a strong class? I don't know. Let me see. Let me go to Spot Track real quick. Let's see. Free agent tight ends. Juwan Johnson from the New Orleans Saints. Mike Gesicki just signed today. And Zach Ertz just signed. I love Austin Hooper for what he was before, but I don't think he's it. I'd probably say if they don't re-sign Tyler Conklin, I think that he's really under the radar. I don't know why Aaron Rodgers didn't use him more, man. I think Tyler Conklin is actually a pretty decent wide receiver. At least his hair isn't green. Do you think Tyreek Hill remains in Miami or get traded? I think he remains. I think they're past that. I think this draft is really going to secure on how he really feels, but I think he's just one of those rah-rah guys. You know how they are. Evan Ingram, I don't necessarily think that he's a underrated guy though. I think that Jaguars are fucking stupid for letting him walk. I was so fucking pissed about that shit. You sign a bona fide top 3, top 4 tight end in the league. Statistically, you just let him walk. So you better pick up one of these good damn tight ends in this class. Have you noticed that those who get big money have a slight decline in their performance? Sometimes, but a lot of guys that get the big money they put up a lot of production and then come back a little bit and not as good as what they used to be. So with Steelers signing DK, is Russ the quarterback? So it's been rumored for years that him and DK didn't get along, but I just saw an hour ago that they were at like some Met Gala ball thing last night and took a picture together. So a lot of people are considering that Russ was the reason why the Steelers picked him up, but I don't see any possibility that Russ comes back. I think Aaron Rodgers and Russ have the mentality that they're still starters, and that's either going to get them signed by another team that trusts that, or is really going to screw a team that trusts that. Gunnar Helm is an athletic beast. The dude, I didn't think he rolled his ankle as bad as what people said until my wife was like, "Ooh, it looks like he got his full weight on his ankle." I was like, "I think he's all right," because I do that all the time. Step on a crack and my whole ankle goes the opposite way. Then he comes out and he runs a 4.8 or whatever it was. I'm like, okay, that's sus. I think he should have ran faster than that, but maybe he's really that slow, just faster on film. And then you see the pictures of his ankle is really busted. And I was like, wow, he did the whole combine like his ankle was not messed up. There's a lot of NFL teams that's seen that, and they're going to be like, this dude's a beast. I wonder if Gronk really coming out of retirement. You know, him and Travis Kelce came in the league at the same time. People consider him the greatest of all time. And you know, Travis Kelce still trying to catch up. Adam Butler re-signed 3 years, 16.5. Well, good for him. Conklin was pretty solid just 2 years ago. Don't watch a bunch of Jets, so was just off of stats. This year he was good too. He was good too. It's just I don't know what Aaron Rodgers was thinking halfway through the season, and I watched too many Jets games that I'd rather have wanted to take back. They were pretty boring on offense. To have Breece Hall and Braylon Allen and not do what you were supposed to do with them was crazy. Nice, I'm glad we got back, but that seems like he's overpaying to me, but whatever, not my money. Sign Josh Gordon, he'll light it up. Nah, bro. Nah, leave Josh Gordon where he's at, wherever he's at right now, sitting on the couch. He's one of those what could have beens, right? They said Ingram wouldn't fit Cohen's scheme because he can't block. Well, if that's the case, Burn, let's go get my man Payne Durham from the Bucks. Bring him in. I would love to see Payne Durham in our offense. Durham said Zeke. Let Zeke just sit on the couch too. 5.5 is good value for Butler. I agree. Why do you think Geno to the Raiders was a bad trade for the Raiders? You said TJ got fleeced, but what legit options did they have? I mean, what? We roll with Aiden or trade up for a subpar quarterback? First of all, Geno Smith is 34 years old. Geno Smith also wants what? 40 million and a new contract. So do you not go out and trade for a younger guy that is proven, or an Aaron Rodgers that's coming back off of the injury that he had, that's obviously a better quarterback? And there's no slide against Geno, but you got to think about it like this. Geno had Tyler Lockett, DK Metcalf, Jake Bobo. Yes, I said Jake Bobo because he's excellent. Jackson Smith and Jigba, who was the best slot guy last year, if you guys didn't know. Best slot receiver statistically last year. He was a beast. Kenneth Walker, Zach Charbonnet. These are not pushover guys. And the year that Geno went off, y'all remember what Kenneth Walker did, right? Y'all remember how good that defense was, right? Like, all this stuff in contention has to play with each other, right? So pause if necessary. But Geno is a good quarterback. At this point in time, having a third round pick go to a 34-year-old that wants 40 million, he could easily have a fall off this year. Matthew Stafford, Aaron Rodgers, and these other quarterbacks on the market. Yeah, I don't know why they didn't go out and throw everything in the kitchen sink at Matthew Stafford. So that's just me. So I think if you're not trying to go get like a Justin Fields, which they should have went after, if they weren't going to pursue a Matthew Stafford, which I think they should have went after, go get Joe Milton. Go get Joe Milton. Go get Hendon Hooker. Try your hand at one of those guys and then go in a draft and give that guy competition. The more competitive rooms in the NFL win more games. I'm sorry, at this point in time, go get Mac Jones and then draft a quarterback. You guys are at 6. You could choose anybody at quarterback that you want. And you chose to go get Geno Smith for a 3rd round pick. That's crazy. I think the Seahawks fleeced them. Absolutely fleeced them. Because I think in this draft with the depth, rounds 1 through 3 are stacked. That, to me, with how many draft picks that the Raiders have, I don't agree with that. What will Russell Wilson end up? I think he goes to one of those New York teams, either the Jets or the Giants. Because wasn't he rumored to go to the Jets last year? Or to be traded to the Jets or something like that? Or the Giants, I mean. So maybe they had that window back open for him. Who knows? It's not that Geno's bad. Giving up a 3rd for a 34-year-old quarterback with the cap isn't ideal. Yeah. Surprised Tommy Tremble didn't test the market. Not a lot of young tight ends with potential. Luckily for teams in the draft, and the free agents that I just read off, a lot of them re-signed today. So I don't know why Tommy Tremble came back. I don't even know why they re-signed him, to be honest, with how deep this tight end class is. Every other quarterback on the market is old except Sam Darnold. Yeah, Sam Darnold's what, 27? Geno's O-line was atrocious this year. Was it atrocious, or was it the offensive scheme not being able to run the ball either? I mean, I got to put my coaching hat on here, right? When you can scheme to just rush the passer because there's nothing else threatening you. Yeah, it makes your offensive line seem one-dimensional, because you think about it like this from the aspect of how you design offenses, right? It's as simple as this, and probably you guys already know this, but stay with me here. Pass blocking, you're dropping back. You're creating that pocket. Run blocking, you're moving forward. You're more athletically moving forward and spreading guys out. What do you think is harder to do? Stepping back and letting a guy rush you, or stepping forward and imposing your will and opening the lanes? I could tell you right now, 7 out of 10 offensive linemen would rather run block and give themselves a little bit of rest from pass blocking. That's why you have to mix it up. If you go as deep as that, let's think about it from this aspect. Yes, the running game opens up the passing game and vice versa. But if you don't at least try, with the Kenneth Walker and Zach Charbonnet and those guys, like, they're very deficient in running the ball last year. When you don't at least, like, just try, and make sure offensive lineman one-dimensional too. This shit is hard to do all game. On top of being a 320-pound guy. On the Raiders, I'm calling Hendon Hooker, DTR, Milton, and all the preseason heroes instead of Geno. Facts. I would have been all right with Mariota and a rookie, but Pete being 73, we don't have time to build for the next few years. Stafford wasn't really leaving LA. Happy wife, happy life for him. He took less money to stay with what's familiar, and to get and move your family across the way is like insane. How are the Raiders in win now mode and still rebuilding? Who knows? Tampering is legal. Just ask Atlanta. Yeah. If the Titans trade out of their spot, I wonder who's coming up for it. Who knows? I think this draft is just so stacked that, like, why would people move up and they could still get a guy that's positionally on par with a lot of other guys? They just fell in a deeper round. Man, I encourage people to, not saying that you guys don't, but I've encouraged people to watch college football more. Like, please. There's just so, like, seeing the value that's elsewhere. Like, Donovan Ezaraku might drop to the second round, but I think he could be the best edge rusher in this class. I see my man Governor of College Football in here. He could tell you. What's happening? Yeah, he could definitely tell you what's going on with Donovan Ezaraku up there at Boston College. That man was doing some crazy work. Let's see what burn. How are the Raiders in win now mode and still rebuilding? Hey man, you know what? Here, Bo Nick's face. Who knows? They still got to build the O-line, build the secondary, build the linebacker, no true number one receiver. That's not win now mode, bro. Yeah, and a lot of people love Jakobi Meyers, and I get it. He's better than what a lot of people were expecting. But who knows? How's extending Max Crosby and signing the vet QB a rebuild? That's not what a rebuilding org does. There's a lot of question marks in what John Spytek and those guys are doing with the Raiders, man. I don't understand. But y'all let me know what y'all feel like that, you know, back to the DK thing. What is his projected stats? I'd like you guys to tell me. What is his projected stats? Let's say if Justin Fields is the quarterback and George Pickens decides to walk and they pick up another wide receiver. Does he eclipse 1,000 yards? Yeah, Jacoby didn't drop a pass last year. He had the best catch percentage. Yep. I still don't think he's a number one. I mean, that's just me. I mean, you gotta think about it. Brock Bowers had the best tight end start to a career of all time. You know who was banging the table for Brock Bowers? For 3 years, we watched this dude absolutely tear up college football. And I told everybody he's going to be a Hall of Famer one day. And I do not put that label on anybody. I don't even buy rookie jerseys. Me and my wife went to Las Vegas and I said, I got to go get the Brock Bowers jersey. I got to go get the Brock Bowers jersey. And I did. I don't buy rookie jerseys. But I believed in that guy for a long time. This dude tore up his ankle, had surgery, and was back in 3 weeks. Huh? I believe that's when they played Alabama, and they're like, he's back. I was like, what? They were like, the health report for today, Brock Bowers is in the game. I said, what the fuck is going on? This dude is Optimus Prime. Yo, Fox Pack, what's up, man? Thank you for coming through. That's what free agency and the draft are for. DK and Pickens, watch out. I don't think George Pickens is staying, man. I don't. Mike Tomlin's career, his job depends on this. Stop listening to Arthur Smith and get the guys that you want. I'm throwing it out there. I think Roman Wilson's going to have a huge year this year. And people are going to be like wondering why y'all paid DK Metcalf $150 million. It tends to happen like that. Keep my Raiders out your damn filthy mouse. The Will Smith voice. DK stats: 70 catches, 1,000 yards, and 8 touchdowns. In a 17-game season, Torque, do you think that that's worth it for $150 million? I don't know. I'd be kind of scared. Imagine if Waller never fell off. Him and Bowers would wreck the league together on the field. Yeah, but you wouldn't. I don't think you would pick a Brock Bowers in. It would be Waller and Michael Mayer at the least. I still think the Brock Bowers pick for the Raiders was the wrong move. I still think that they should have picked up Bo Nix. And how wrong people said that Bo Nix was going to be trash. If it wasn't for Jaden Daniels, he would have been He would have been rookie of the year. It's nasty work. Pickens sucks anyways. I wouldn't say he sucks, man. I think he's inconsistent. I'm a Pickens fan. I love everything he brings to the table, but you can't ask a guy to have had what 4 or 5 different quarterbacks in his life, and it's just to be like, be great. And I mean, he needs a mentor in that room too. You're asking this guy to be the number one, and he really has no mentor in that locker room. And now you bring DK Metcalf on top of that. Oh my God, bro. Davante Adams being on the Steelers and DK going to the Rams would be better, in my opinion. Like, let's go to an alternate reality. If the Rams got DK Metcalf, you don't have to worry, because Matthew Stafford is either going to throw to you or he's not, and he's got Puka Nacua and Jordan Whittington. Right? All bets are off. It's fine. DK Metcalf was not going to get that kind of contract anyways. But let's say that happened. But if you had Davante Adams go to the Steelers, you keep George Pickens, you let him learn behind that guy, and they would be absolutely nutty together, because George Pickens down the field guy, Roman Wilson down the field guy, and you can have Davante Adams in the slot eating up the zones. Man, with Pat Freiermuth, that would be crazy. I would have been more excited about that than DK being traded there. I borderline think this is a bad trade, but he's really got to step up to the plate, because the dude's super talented, but he's not AJ Brown. So, I mean, people are going to compare it to both big as shit, can run real fast, can catch any ball, but who would you rather have, AJ Brown or DK Metcalf? I was telling my wife in the car, you know, who'd you rather have, AJ Brown or DK Metcalf? Yeah, I think all of us would collectively say, what the fuck are we talking about here? AJ Brown. Yeah, Waller and Bowers would be legit. I apologize, but your Raider peer is saying you guys are in the win now mode and still technically rebuilding. That's a crazy deal for DK. Glad the Raiders didn't do something like that. Sleeping Lady says DK Metcalf is a beast. Great trade for the Steelers. He can be a beast. We'll see. We'll see what happens. We have so many needs. I don't know how to fill in Tennessee. It's why I'm contemplating trading down for more picks. This is the draft to trade down. But I honestly don't see teams trading down in the first round as much. I see that maybe happen in the second and third rounds, and I think that'll be a mistake. I just don't. If you trade down, it has to be in the first round. I think if you do that in the first and second, the second and third rounds in this draft, you just don't care about football, I guess. Yeah, Bo Nix instead of Brock would have been a better pick. Absolutely. Burn out the first time they've tried some shit like this. Moves every offseason don't make sense. Sign Davante, then get Jimmy G, trade Khalil, but pay Burfict and AB. It's nothing new for them. Damn, I forgot y'all had Burfict. Fucking bastard. Yeah, that would have been the better option. Adams as a Steeler and DK in LA. Yeah, I think if you flip-flop, I think we're having a different conversation today. I think we're saying, damn, that's great value for both teams. And a quarter. Justin Fields is not fit to lead DK, I don't think, at this point, because he's still trying to find it within himself if he's a starter. So you're asking a lot. I'm not saying that he's a bad leader, but you're asking a lot to. This dude's going to fucking complain if he doesn't get the ball. Versus Davante Adams, who's going to get force-fed by Matthew Stafford and is going to be like, Matthew Stafford's my best friend. Fuck Aaron Rodgers. You just had him go to Aaron Rodgers 2.0. That's nasty work. Bo Nix is now the worst quarterback in the AFC West. Let's see, Patrick, Justin Herbert. He's better than Geno Smith. What the fuck are we talking about? Nah, bro. I don't agree with that at all. Conflicting moves every season like clockwork. Organizations got a personality disorder. DK is a dirty player. Go watch his game footage shoving defenseless players in the back. And it just comes with the territory. I mean, you can say the same thing about George Pickens. Motherfuckers pile driving on people. He was in a pile. He jumped up in the air and elbow dropped the ball. It's goofy, motherfucker. They both gonna be goofy as shit together. I'm here for it though. I'm excited to see their dynamic if they do decide to keep George, because that was the big talk. How are we in a rebuild? Are trading picks or our players and squaring draft picks? Are we squaring players to compete? I don't think that qualifies as a rebuild, just saying. So what is it called when you bring in new coaching staff and new quarterback? That's not a rebuild? Yeah. Kelsey is dirty? Woo. All right, last one, guys. Nick Bolton re-signing. Yeah. Nick Bolton's re-signing with the Chiefs. I told everybody before, I think that this was the best deal that has happened in the last 2 weeks. And I don't know if there's going to be a better deal than this, to be completely honest with you. Nick Bolton has been the driving force for what linebackers should be in the NFL. And I just don't know if there's actually a better linebacker out there than Nick Bolton, bar for bar. Been in the league since 2021, chosen in the second round from Missouri. And if you just look at his stats year to year, outside of the games that he played in 2023, where he was hurt most of the season, only played 8 games, the dude's averaging over 100 tackles a year. Damn near 70 solo by himself. Out of 100 tackles and you got 70, that's insane. Not a guy that's gonna get you a ton of sacks, can drop back in coverage, can play the pass. But he's a beast, man. A sideline to sideline guy that's always there in your face, can play in whatever defense is thrown at him. I would love to see, to be honest, this is a far-fetched thing, but and playing like weak side backer like TJ Watt does, because he can rush the passer too. I don't think that's as far-fetched to ask him to do, but if they decide to set him up on the edge and play outside linebacker, that would be insane. But plays beyond his size, man. 5'11", 237. This is the best signing that happened in the NFL, bar none. So a lot of guys are going to be looking in this draft for that next Nick Bolton. That, if that tells you anything, because you can throw his name up there with the Bobby Wagners of the world. You could throw his name in there with, the Fred Warners and things like that. Like, Fred Warner and Nick Bolton are probably the best two in the NFL. So you go into this draft and you think about, oh man, who could be the next Nick Bolton type guy? A lot of people are going to say 𝗎𝗫𝗀𝐃𝐀, which stay away from completely. Don't do that. But every single time that this guy's been in the playoffs with the Chiefs, you see him all over the field making plays on their defense. When Chris Jones is not stepping up, Nick Bolton is. I said this earlier in the stream. When people don't value tackling as much as another team, those are the teams that typically fail. And now you're seeing the Eagles for the first time in a long time become the best tackling team in football. And I think you could throw like Zach Bond in there now too, right? So I know it's a lot of Raiders fans in here, and you don't want to. you hate the fact that Nick Bolton is now a Chief for a longer period of time now, but he definitely deserved to be extended. This was a must, I think, at this point. And people can talk about injuries, but like people get injured all the time. This is absolutely worth every penny. Verum says that's not a rebuild in the same sense. Rebuild is when you're building for years to come, not necessarily working to compete and go to the playoffs. I guess you guys are talking back and forth about that. The Raiders are making moves. Who should the Raiders pick at 6 in your opinion? I know you love Bo Nix, bro. Just mess around. Can't wait for this season. Yeah, and to be honest, a lot of people that told me that Bo Nix sucks, everybody was wrong. So Kind of funny. I think you guys, well, we mocked today that 𝗕𝘂𝘀𝗶𝗲𝗀𝗀 from East Carolina should be there, but I can see you guys going quarterback. I can see you guys going Will Johnson, but I think 𝗕𝘂𝘀𝗀𝗀 with his size and speed outside of the ACL injury, like I tell everybody, medicine is so good as far as surgeries nowadays that he tore his ACL so early last season that he's going to be ready to go. They've already said that he might be doing his pro day or a couple private workouts. The dude's like 6'3", almost damn 220 pounds, and plays corner. Yeah, I'm gonna need the Raiders to pick that guy up. A rebuild would be getting a rookie and starting him and acquiring draft picks. Meanwhile, okay, sure, got the same contract as Bolton, more or less. Yeah, I don't think Sherwood is as good as Nick Bolton, but I mean, it's whatever the team valued that player to be in that scheme. So that's not for us to determine. I'm hating on my favorite team. I do it with the Jaguars too. They fucking suck. Have y'all noticed there's been any other player like Khalil Mack at his position at DN and linebacker? There hasn't been any other player. I disagree with that. TJ Watt. They haven't won an AFC championship since I was 11 years old. Damn, that's bad. If y'all want Carr back, we would trade him for a bag of chips and a Slim Jim. Nah, I don't think they want Carr back, man. But what y'all think about the Nick Bolton thing, man? I think I think that's all the crazy news that happened today. I would have felt weird if we didn't get up here and talk about it. The other guys can't hang, man. Sore's sick. Damn, Klee sleeping somewhere. Oh man, this is hilarious. But I think they'll be back tomorrow. So while I'm working, they'll actually be doing the and I gotta get Klee his film on. Uh-oh. We have applied for UFL credentials now, so hopefully Klee can cover the Houston Roughnecks, so that's good news. I just Slim Jim, but the Tabasco one. You like the Tabasco Slim Jims? Mickey Loomis got the Saints paying him through 2029 after the restructure. That's rough. Yeah, that's nasty work. I like Derek Carr, but damn, man, that's crazy. Anyways, guys, a lot of people asked for me to do like a seminar type thing on scouting players. I filled out a form there. We'll try to figure out a day where we can do that. Get you guys up to speed. The link is top of the comment section. And I'll scope out and see what everybody's schedule is, and we'll try to plan something where we can do that, since a lot of people ask, like, how do you scout players? What do you look for? Blah, blah, blah. So there'll be a long-winded attempt to try to do this for you guys. Hopefully a lot of people don't get bored, but and anyways, before we get out of here, did you hear about this? Odell Beckham Jr. has been involved in the P. Diddy case per multiple reports, and accusations have been made, and damages Fields defended are seeking. Well, that ain't even English. Anyways, some girl accused him of the R word. Odell Beckham Jr., bro. Nasty work. The fall off is for real. This is gonna be on a 30 for 30. There's two things you don't want to be on a 30 for 30 for. This type of stuff and being a bust at your sport. What you want to be on 30 for 30 is like what could have been. Those are always cool. Like what's his name? Bo Jackson. Or really good players or teams in their stories. This dude acting up. So we don't talk about stuff like this on this channel, but that's nasty work. Odell Beckham Jr. My, how the mighty have fallen. How y'all like the roundhouse kick TKO last night? I don't know. I used to watch UFC religiously. I don't know. This is a football channel. If Chucky came back to the Raiders, he'd get Carr back. Yeah. I've been needing to do that too for the UFL, hoping to make a couple of games if my buddy makes the team. Oh, that's dope. Yep, saw that about Odell, him and Drewski? No, not Drewski. Oh! Damn. OBJ was probably one of the most overrated trash wide receivers. Okay, buddy. Okay, Verum, I can't agree with you there. Odell Beckham Jr. was that dude. Regardless if you like the guy or not, that motherfucker was crazy talented. Odell Beckham Jr. shot himself in the foot. If he would have just worked as hard as the other receivers in the league, he could put on. I'm not saying, okay, I've been watching football a long time. This dude could have been one of the greatest of all time. And I'm not just saying that to say that. He was a badass receiver. Did he become overrated? Maybe. But come on, bro. Him and Jarvis Landry. Jarvis was a badass receiver too. He just wasn't as talented as OBJ. We talk about OBJ and Jarvis Landry before there was Justin Jefferson and Jamar Chase. Nah, he could have been one of. I mean, you can't defend him now, but talent-wise, he could have been one of the best of all time. Yeah, Drewski was involved too. I did see that. That's fucking crazy, bro. This world is about to get twisted upside down once this shit comes out. That and Epstein shit. I ain't gonna talk about this shit though. Yeah, we're not here to talk about the political shit. That is what it is. But it is, you know, it is OBJ. It's involving him. He's a dumbass. It's always a receiver's fucking dumbasses, bro. Catching passes and catching cases. That's fucking crazy. I should make that into a t-shirt. Damn, you play wide receiver. Guess you're good at catching a lot of shit, huh? Catching COVID. Gotta defend my Tigers most of the time, but I'll stay out of it after what's going on right now. Yeah, OBJ was crazy, man. Both him and Jarvis going to bad teams sucked for them. You know what? And man, I bet you Jarvis is so disappointed in him, because Jarvis is a good dude from what everybody says. Like, was the one that stayed out of most of the fucking trouble. But these guys are a revolution. I mean, think about it like this. Jarvis and Odell had everybody with the broccoli haircut. It was them. All the little kids, all the little boys, even the white kids, shaved the sides, got the broccoli shits. It was because of these two bastards. And then you get Justin Jefferson and Jamar Chase doing the fucking, whatever the fucking dance that they do. Everybody was doing that shit. It's always the LSU guys that set some fucking trends. And then Kyron Lacy, man. Fuck. And now we got the next generation. It's always two. Jarvis Landry, OBJ. Justin Jefferson, Jamar Chase. And now it's Malik Willis and Brian Thomas Jr. Yeah. Torque just posted right when I was saying it. Who do you think should draft Cam, and do you think Sanders even a first round pick, at least top 15? I don't think Cam or Shador top first round picks. I don't see what everybody sees in them. I mean, if you've seen the stats and the efficiency stats that they have, but on film, oh, man, I feel like I've talked about this 5,000 times. Cam Ward had the best receiving crew in football that didn't have a consistent quarterback. Xavier Restrepo was hurt every fucking year of his career until Cam got there. I wonder how many passes, I need to go do the math, how many passes that those guys took to the house off of 25 plus yard throws. It had to be something outrageous. But I know they led in yak like the whole year. That's not good. And Shedeur and Cam were top 15 in time to throw all season. Do we really think that shit's gonna happen in the NFL? And I think they're talking I love a confident football player, but like they're like arrogant as shit too. When they talk, they're arrogant as fuck. And I hate that shit. Because you make all quarterbacks look bad. So people will pass up on a Curtis Work, but he played with a torn ACL all year. And then wanted to compete in the combine. Y'all know what happened, right? A doctor called the officials at the combine. They said, do not let him participate. He was going to throw and shit. And they said, fuck that. We don't want him to injure himself even more. That's a tough son of a bitch. I want Curtis Work on my fucking team. You could go line up Curtis Work and Tyler Shuck's tape. And then go line up Cam and Shedeur's tape. I still want people to show me why these two are better. Shedeur holds onto the ball too goddamn long, but one that everybody wants to blame his offensive line. How the fuck do you have the top 15 time to throw in the country if your offensive line was that terrible? That's bullshit. It is bullshit. Cam Ward is not safe with the ball. Go watch the game against Syracuse. Fucking Syracuse. They were good this year. Let's not throw the baby out with the, what they call it, the bathwater and shit. Syracuse was not supposed to beat Miami with the trajectory that they're on. They punched them in the fucking mouth and won that game. Yeah, Cam Ward's good. We were actually defending Cam Ward the last 2 years when he was at Washington State. We were saying that he was better than what people were saying. But let's not think that Cam Ward is like this amazing quarterback. He's not. The caliber of quarterbacks that are under him are getting disrespected. Jalen Milroe is better than Cam and Shedeur. Go watch the tape we did last night. I literally had like 3 people in the chat that were like, damn, we were wrong about Jalen Milroe. Whenever you can watch film, you could be like, damn, that's not Jalen's fault. Damn, offensive line his ass. Damn, what the fuck? Damn, he's standing up straight and trying to throw it out like because pressure's in his face. Alabama was in shambles last year. Came out that Kyron wasn't at fault for crash. Sucks it tanked his drop. Wait, really? Oh, there's an apology tour that needs to happen. I love Kyron Lacy too, man. I did. I was the only one that thought he was gonna have an amazing season. I was looking forward to him last year, and the first couple of games he was good. Who are the first round quarterbacks in your eyes? Tyler Shuck and Curtis Work. His character stuff on the sideline didn't make it any better either with Lacy. Yeah, the fucking shooting into the crowd and shit like that, like he had a gun. I don't really think that shit is like that crazy. I mean, you got Jalen Milroe doing the gun and then like putting it in the holster and shit. What's the difference? We're really getting mad at people with like imaginary shooting at the crowd and shit. Don't talk shit, bitch. Like, I get how it's perceived, but like, fuck. Kids can't have fun nowadays. We were doing that shit to each other. You think I end up buying a gun and shooting one of my friends in real life? Fuck no. Cam and Sanders will be drafted in the top 10. There's no way they'll get past 10. It's going to happen. I'm not saying that it won't happen. Okay, so don't take my words and project that I don't think that these guys are going to go top 10. I was asked my opinion on the 2 players. I don't think they're first round picks. they will get chosen in the first round. And the first top, the first 10 picks, most likely. I do agree with you 100% there. Next year's quarterback class should be nuts. Yeah. It's going to be insane. DK to the Steelers is dirty. I don't really like the move. The more I think about it, the more I'm like, it's okay. Do you think the Sanders, do you think with Sanders that he held onto the ball long because of struggles with going through his options, or can't throw guys open or other? Here's what I'll say. The offensive scheme that Colorado ran was really fucking frustrating to watch in Pat Shurmur's system. I mean, literally, they're running dagger concepts the whole time, which is and inverted dagger concepts, which you have like a slant from your X receiver and your Y and your Z. Your Y runs up and kind of runs the outside, like a 5-yard outside dig, and then you have your guy running a 9 route that's playing the Z. Like, they did that shit a lot, and they expected that shit to work all the time. And then their running game was ass too. So part of it was the scheme, and you can lay it on that. But like, what the fuck, bro? You got LeJontay Wester open, and you're not launching that shit downfield. There was a play I broke down where he made the same throw the week after, and people were like, you don't know what you're talking about, when I was like debunking that there's an NFL throw and then there's not. Safety came down, guys running a 9 route as the Y, and he could have launched it up while the safety didn't recognize it and already had the ball out. That's an NFL throw. It's certain shit like that. And it was front side too, and it was like, what the fuck is Shedeur not noticing when that free safety comes down? You have a free runner on the 9 route. I'm telling my quarterback to hit that shit every time. As soon as you see him cheat down, that's it. He's open. Like, there's no way that LeJontay Wester running fucking full speed downfield is not going to catch that shit if it's in front of him. But then the next week, Shedeur hits it, and I'm like, well, I guess I'm a fucking idiot for predicting that you're supposed to make that fucking throw. Like, it's crazy. Shedeur doesn't do that on a regular basis. It's either slant route, let LeJontay and Travis Hunter running a 5-yard curl, get downfield, and then he gets all the glory for making the passes. I didn't see a lot of difficulty in his throws. Also, Cam and Shedeur don't throw backside ever. They're like scared as shit. But when you see Curtis Rourke do it, hold on, let me see if I can find the fucking play. I have it somewhere. I'll show you the best throw of last year. I don't know if I have it though. Yeah, I'm gonna try to see if I can find the throw that Curtis Rourke made. It was like ridiculous. It's Tyler Shuck. Dylan Sampson. Jay Higgins. I think I deleted it. But anyways, he hit a 15-yard comeback backside and launched that shit, and it was a back shoulder fade right there on the sideline with Elijah Surratt catching that shit. We were watching that shit live. We were like, oh my God, this motherfucker is badass. That was a badass throw. Jalen Miro did it on film as well. I have it somewhere. It was very similar to what Yeah, it was very similar to this pass from Jalen Milroe. Check this out. When people want to talk shit about Jalen Milroe, watch this pass right here. Drops back. Now I want you guys to notice something. Look at where he is on the right side hash and where he throws the ball. Okay, you're accounting for that maybe this is a 15-yard throw. This is really like a 13 more yards. So it's basically like a 27, 28-yard throw here because you have to account for the trajectory where he's throwing it from. So watch. Play action, drops back. He could have thrown it into the flat to Jan Miller right there. Watch where he throws his pass. But people talk shit about Jalen Milroe. It's fucking crazy. But Curtis Works hitting those on a regular basis. And same with Adam. I think Adams to the Rams is better, but I was telling everybody if you switch both of them, then it's a better one after that too with Raiola and Lagway. Remember that J-Mo Selly had to rewind because I couldn't believe that he did that. I don't even think he got fined for that. One more pump and he would have been fine. Isn't Tyler's injury prone though? 2 collarbone injuries and a fibula. I think he's good, but that concerns me. I hope the Raiders draft one of the two. If you're worried about those injuries, he got hit hard on both from his offensive line. And then the fibula, that was pretty much a dirty hit. Go watch both of those plays. I don't really account for those being injury prone. I feel like the Raiders should trade back this year for some draft capital and next year for the monster quarterback class. Absolutely. The Kyle Kennard celebration was crazy too. Stand over him and pump the shotgun. Chill, bro. Yo, Kyle Kennard, when we met him, he's an incredibly huge human being. Super nice guy, though. And he's got a wife and kid, I believe. Sanders can't make a back shoulder throw. He's a noodle of an arm. Yeah. GB top 5 wide receiver duo, maybe 3. I don't know. I don't know about that. When you want the draft capital for next year when there's actually some ballers in the draft, yeah. But a lot of teams are in win now mode. So, and I understand that. So we can't always account for, it's always next year because then people are going to blame them for tanking. Somebody gave the nickname of DK and Pickett's go routes and crash outs. I'm starting to hate that fucking term. Got the Raiders sign back Butler. Sally's be getting crazier this year. Yeah. Hey man, appreciate everybody that came through. I'm gonna dip out of here. We talked about it all Tuesday, NFL Rush. I'll see y'all there. And then Wednesday, NFL Rush. So college football rush on Tuesday, NFL Rush on Wednesday. Tomorrow they should be going and doing the free agent frenzy all day long. So, well, not all day, from 12 to 2, I believe they said. So come back and watch 𝗕𝘂𝘀𝗀𝘀 and Sora. But appreciate everybody, man. I will talk to you guys here later.